Hello out there, and I've got a fun story to share with you today that starts with a bit of very good news. And that good news is that the knife that is in front of you, this 0900 by Zero Tolerance, that's designed by Les George, is a knife that I won in a raffle. So I won this in a raffle on Instagram. I paid a total of $20 to get this knife. And the way that raffles work, if you're not aware or haven't been in one, is that someone who's trying to move a knife, instead of just selling it for a fixed price, will create a raffle. And we'll create a number of spots, and we'll sell those spots at a certain amount of money. I think there were 20 spots in this raffle for $10 a piece. And I bought 2 of them, and then my name was drawn when he went to draw a winner. So I got the knife. So really exciting, because this is a model that I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a while, probably near the top of my my ZT want list, I'll say that. Just a really cool, stout, beefy folder on the smaller side. So really good to get a lot of work done with, and you can be really aggressive with it. And speaking of aggression, there are a number of pretty big scratches right near the pivot that you can see, and those have actually been put on the knife by me in the first week that I've had it, and they will actually come into play with the rest of the story, because the story is not over, because I actually got a second ZT0900 the same week. Because what happened was, the day after I won the raffle, another buddy that I follow on Instagram posted a customized ZT0900 for sale. And it was brand new in box and had a really neat ano job on it, plus a wicked edge, so the edge was just really nice mirror reflection and extremely sharp. And it didn't sell. And so we lowered the price, and then it still didn't sell. And he lowered the price again, and it still didn't sell. And eventually I reached out to him and I said, hey, listen, I just won one of these knives in a raffle, but if you lower it any further, I'm just going to have to buy it. And he said, well, let's just do it. You know, let's save me the trouble of having to lower the rate, and let's just get a deal done right now. And we did. And so here's that knife. Really nice, same model, beautifully customized with this purple and blue ano and like a paint splotch pattern. Just really attractive. See the polished clip here, and then the mirrored edge. Extremely good looking, reflective, and very, very sharp. And so the plan was to keep this knife and sell the one that I'd gotten in the raffle. And maybe, you know, maybe not necessarily break even, but still at the end of the day, spend, let's say, $40, $50 and get a knife of this caliber. It's a huge deal, right? But here's the problem. I kept looking at this customized 0900, and I just wasn't happy with it for some reason. And it had nothing to do with the way that it looks, and it had nothing to do with the edge. You know, I just was excited about that stuff, and I really liked the look of the knife, but something just wasn't sitting right with me. Couldn't figure it out. And then I took this one to work, the raffle knife, to work one night, you know, and had it in my pocket and was using it, and got caught up in a number of things and just dropped it back into the wrong pocket. And I think what happened was my Griffin tool that's attached to my keys really scratched it up. The titanium scratched it up and put all these marks on it. And it was a little bit irritating because, you know, obviously I've only had this knife for a few days, and I've already dinged it up pretty bad. But then it got me thinking, and it made me realize that I don't want to be afraid of that kind of stuff with this knife. You know, some people, and I'm one of them, you know, we sometimes keep models and knives that we don't use in our EDC rotation because we want to keep them generally safe. You know, we don't want to beat them up. You know, some of the knife modifications that I've done, I don't really carry those knives because I like keeping those mods really safe and secure, and don't want to scratch them or ding them up. You know, the Kershaw leak that I did with the tiger stripes, I don't carry that knife. You know, it's part of my collection. And what I realized was, I don't want this to be part of the collection. I want it to be a knife that I use. and that I don't pull any punches with, that I am not afraid to beat up. You know, this is a knife that is overbuilt and intended for hard tasks, and I want to do that with this knife. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who use a ZT regularly and beat it up, and then there are some who have nice custom pieces and don't carry them very often. Maybe you do have a custom piece and you carry it a lot, and more power to you if you do, because that's awesome. But, you know, I knew that if I had kept this knife and sold the Raffle knife, that I'd never really use it. And that wasn't the point of getting it. You know, the point of getting it was to attack a job with it if need be and beat it up. And even though I'm not excited that I got some scratches on it, not be afraid of stuff like that. You know, like I said, there are other knives in my collection that I would be afraid of stuff like that with because I want to keep them pristine. But this wasn't supposed to be one of them. You know, another one that comes to mind that I just don't carry very often is the ZT0770CF. You know, that was a gift from my wife. I like to keep that in as good a shape as I possibly can. Not to try to sell it, but just because I want it to be pristine. And this knife doesn't need to be pristine. This knife needs to be used more than it needs to be kept safe. And that's why I'm going to be selling the one that I bought. Go figure. But it took me that whole purchase and that process to figure it out. And I'm glad that I did, because now I'm going to have a knife that I can use the way that I want to use it and just be really happy with the quality of the knife and the stuff I'm able to do with it. So my question to all of you today is, what is your knife, if you have one, that you like to keep safe? You know, there's no harm in that, I don't think. You know, no judgment. It's just something that, you know, we all have our preferences, and sometimes we just want to protect certain things. And it's natural. But this design, for me, just wasn't supposed to be it. So again, what is yours, if you have one? And let me know in the feedback down below. Any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions? I'd love to hear from you. But I've got a whole lot of stuff coming, trying to post every other day right now, if possible. Trying to get through all of the reviews that I have, plus some of the new knives that are coming. So I'm looking forward to all that and talking with you again soon. But thanks again for watching, and take care.